Some lives are long and loud. Others are brief and quiet, yet echo through history. Abel never built a city. He never led a nation. He never wrote a word. And yet his story still speaks. The second son. Abel is introduced almost in passing. Adam and Eve have two sons. The first is Cain. The second is Abel. The firstborn usually carries the spotlight, the inheritance, the expectation. But Scripture often shifts attention in surprising ways. Abel becomes a shepherd, a keeper of flocks. His life is lived in open fields, tending animals, watching seasons change. Quiet, steady, faithful. Cain works the soil. Both brothers labor. Both bring offerings to the Lord. And here, something important happens. Abel brings fat portions from some of the firstborn of his flock, Genesis 4 verse 4. The best. The first. Not leftovers. Not convenience. Genesis tells us, the Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering. We are not told everything about why his offering is accepted. But the emphasis falls on his heart. Abel gives in faith. He gives his best. He approaches God with reverence. His worship is sincere. The cost of faithfulness. Abel's faithfulness exposes something in his brother. When Cain sees that his offering is not regarded the same way, anger rises. His face falls. Jealousy takes root. Abel does not attack Cain. He does not argue. He simply continues being faithful. But sometimes righteousness becomes a mirror. It reveals what others do not want to face. Cain invites Abel into the field. And there, without warning, Abel is killed. The first death in human history is not natural. It is violent. And it happens within a family. Abel's life ends quickly. No recorded speeches. No recorded achievements. Just a simple description, he brought an offering in faith. And then he is gone. The blood that cries out. When God confronts Cain, he says something striking. Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground, Genesis 4 verse 10. Abel may be silent in death, but his blood speaks. His life mattered. His death mattered. Heaven noticed. Abel becomes the first victim of violence. The first righteous sufferer. The first to show that faithfulness does not guarantee safety in a fallen world. His story introduces a painful truth: doing what is right may provoke opposition. Faithfulness may attract resistance. Innocence does not always shield us from harm. But Abel's story does not end in the field. A faith that echoes. Later Scripture reflects on Abel's life. Hebrews 11 verse 4 says, by faith Abel brought God a better offering, and by faith he still speaks, even though he is dead. Abel's legacy is not length of years. It is depth of faith. He represents a simple but powerful truth: what matters most is not how long we live, but how we live before God. Abel gave his first and his best. He trusted. He honored God without knowing what it would cost him. His righteousness did not prevent suffering, but it secured remembrance. God did not ignore his offering. And God did not ignore his blood. What Abel means for us. Abel represents quiet faithfulness. He reminds us that unseen obedience still matters. That God sees what others overlook. That the heart behind the offering counts more than the size of the offering. His story also confronts us with reality. The world can respond harshly to integrity. Jealousy can turn deadly. Righteousness can provoke hostility. But Abel shows that faith is never wasted. Even when his life was cut short, his example endured. His story became part of the foundation of Scripture. His faith became a testimony for generations. He proves that you do not have to be loud to be significant. You do not have to lead armies to impact history. Faithfulness in the field can echo into eternity. Closing reflection. Abel lived a short life. But he lived it well. He brought his best to God. He trusted. He worshipped. And though violence silenced his voice, it could not silence his faith. His blood cried out from the ground. But his faith still speaks from the pages of Scripture. Abel's story asks a simple question. What are we bringing before God? Our leftovers, or our first and best? Because in the end, the measure of a life is not how loudly it is remembered on earth, but whether it was lived in faith before heaven. And Abel's life, though brief, still whispers the same truth. Faith matters.